Hey, welcome to this new paragraph. It's paragraph 3.4 and it is about how to simplify square roots. What we're going to do is how to write as a single square root and how to simplify a square root. So lots of things over here. First of all, how to write as a single root. What do you have then? For instance, you have um, 5 square root of it's a nice number 7, and we need to write this as a single square root. Basically what we mean that there is no number in front of the square root, only a number under the square root. And so we need to put the 5 under the square root, and square if you want to cancel out the square root, in fact you need to square it, because that's the opposite, square and square root. So first step, we're going to square 25. So 5 squared is 25. So that means that this is equal to square root of 25 multiplied by the square root of 7. Okay. This is something you don't write in between, but this is something you can use as a reminder. And then you multiply these under the square sign, you get one number under the square sign, and this is 175. So apparently 5 times square root of 7 is equal to the square root of 175. When do we use this? If you compare square root numbers. So if you want to compare to square root of 3 with 3 square root of 2, which one is bigger? That is what we basically do. And then you need to do that. Make this into 1 square root, make that into 1 square root, and you can check if the number under the square root, which one is the biggest, and of course that number is the biggest. That is with this with simplifying square roots, but you could also have one big square root number. You could, for instance, have the square root of 100. That looks a bit strange, because 100 is 10 squared, so this is equal to 10. And 10 looks much nicer than the square root of 100. And over here we had the square root of 175, and this 5 squared to 7 looks a bit nicer in my eyes. And to go from the big square root number to a smaller number under the square root, that's called simplifying a square root. It's to make it look more nicer. Okay, what do you need to do? Well, if you need to grab a certain, you need to know this in your mind, the perfect squares. And take, for example, we're going to do the square root of 200. Now, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to see what is the biggest perfect square, the largest one you can divide it with. Can't do with 225, 196 you can't as well, and so on. And if you go back, you can see it is 100. It's the biggest one. So this is equal to the square root of 100 multiplied by the square root of 2. Now I've written it as 2 square roots. And these 2 square roots, the square root of 100 is 10, so we can square it. So it's 10 square root of 2. And now we have simplified it. Okay, how can we do one? Just simply, for instance, of 29, first one, the square root of 63. Okay, and when you take a look, what is the biggest number over here? 64 is not possible. 49, if you divide it by 49, and that's something I can't do from my head as well, but if you divide it, so 63 divided by 49, you get 1.28 and so on. So it's not possible to divide it with. Now, I mean, you can try the same with 36. You get 1.75. No, that doesn't work as well. And we can do the same with 25. That doesn't work because there's no 0 or 5 as the last number. And then 16, we're going to divide it by 16 is 3.93 and so on. And then 9, oh, it's 7 multiplied by 9. 36 is 7. So you basically need to know your tables for these questions. So we have the square root of 9 multiplied by the square root of 7, and that is 3 square root 7. Okay, hey guys, next lesson we're going to practice that, and we're going to take a look at multiplying square roots, and certainly I would like to take a look at question, what was it again? Take a look, 21 and maybe 22, and practice these things. Okay, see you then, bye.